ladies, have you thought about what you would do after you retire from the public sector? Have you thought about maybe consulting work, starting an LLC? Like, have you really given that some consideration as to what you might do and setting up a business? Hi, I am Lazandra, and on this channel, I work with public sector Black women in senior leadership positions, helping you really think about and create a plan for yourself to make sure you have care, making sure you're caring for yourself while you're in the role, making sure that we have discussions about separating from service. What does it look like to separate from service, and what are those things you need to do? And then finally, life on a pension. Life on a pension. Life after public sector. I retired on my 55th birthday in 2021. I spent over 20 plus years in government, working in various government levels from city on up to federal. And I just want to share some practical tips, some practical things, but also kind of share my journey. So sometimes I'll have stories intertwined with some practical tips, but mostly it's my journey. And the reason I'm doing this because I want you to see what's available to you. You don't have to work until you're 72. You can if that's what you want to, but I want you to see what it looks like on the other side of working in the public sector. And I want you to know there is joy over here. I love it. So one of the things that I did back in 2016, I started a coaching and consultancy business. It was something that I was doing on the side. I was very interested in working with nonprofits, helping them get government money. Most of my career, I've been on the funding side of funding nonprofits, and I know that there is a great need for nonprofits to understand how to do business with government. It's different. It's a different type of relationship. And so it was important for me to start this business because I would see that and I really wanted to help these organizations, especially those led by Black leadership or other people of color, to make sure that they are getting the services or getting the funding they need to serve the communities that they serve. So I started the business back in 2016. With that, also coaching. I was doing some coaching already, and so decided to make that a part of my business. So I tend to work with people in leadership who are kind of just trying to figure out like what's next. Some of them woke up and like, okay, I'm successful, I'm here, and now I don't know if I like this anymore. Like I'm here, but what else is there for me? Like how do you redesign your life and recreate who you are? So that's the coaching part of the business that I started in 2016. But I also maintained my roles and positions inside of government organizations in the public sector. So of course, it didn't give me time to go fully. I mean, I can serve by typically my coaching that I still do, but the coaching oftentimes is in the afternoon anyway, and evenings because people are at work. So able to do that, but the consulting piece of it looked a little different. So now that I have separated from service and I am retired from the public sector, I was able to work more diligently with my clients and build up my client base. And so I really enjoy this side of retirement because it's different than public sector, and you do have to take all the phone calls and you have to do the things. Here I get to really be more intentional about who I work with and how I work with people. So I really love that. So it might be something that you want to consider, the consulting piece, because you are, I'm sure, a subject matter expert in a lot of things. But as you separate, there might be people that want to continue to work with you. Now, one thing is to consider is And this, I know it was true for where I work. Sometimes there are people that you just work with. Like I had, in my role, there were people who had contracts with our organization that really wanted me to work with them. And there is, you need to check with your ethics department to see what the rule is about when you might be able to work with them. Where I was working, it was a year. So you needed to be separated from the job for at least a year because there was a conflict of interest. So it's something that you might want to consider. So say that you just retired and somebody is contacting you like Lazandra. Well, they wouldn't say Lazandra, but I really want to, continue to work with you. Like, I know you have this expertise in this area, and I would like to know how I can work with you. Then it's something you might want to consider is not consider, something you need to do is to check with your ethics department, public ethics, to see what the rules are there. And that goes for volunteer work. Like volunteer work, meaning serving on boards. I had organizations that wanted me to serve on their boards, and I decided, I'm sure that the rule would be the same. So I made sure that I checked because this particular organization was an organization that had a contract with my department, and I needed to make sure that we had fully separated and that year had passed. So those are things that you might want to consider. Starting a business, doing consultancy work, trust me, there's going to be people coming for you in a good way. And it's something you need to think about. Like, is that something I want to do? Do I want to actually take a break? Come back to that? These are some things you might want to consider as you are separating from service. Do you want to serve on a board with similar work? Maybe, yes. And if it's someone that had a direct relationship with your department, please check with your public ethics and make sure that you're doing it appropriately. You don't want to get yourself in trouble or that organization in trouble because after 6 months you decide to enter into a contract with them and it's not good to do or even volunteer. So some things to think about: consultancy work, coaching, or a vision that a mission and vision of something that's totally different. But you might want to consider going into business for yourself. Maybe there's something totally different. Like you always wanted to own an auto mechanic shop or something you're already doing. Like this is a time for you to breathe and explore and do those things that maybe you actually dreamed of when you were a little girl, right? When you were younger. And now you get to look at those passion projects. So as you're planning for your retirement, also be thinking about what's next. Have a plan for that too. If you have a business, go deeper in your business, let the business go. You have some decisions to make. But for me, I have clients. I started out with 4 and like right off the gate, and then had to do some adjusting because I needed a little bit of a break, but I still have clients that I work with. That's for my consulting clients. I mean, not my coaching clients. That's different. But my consulting clients, I needed to like really gauge, because what does it look like? Things to think about is, what does it look like to have your own business? It's different than working a corporate job or any job when you have your own business, right? This looks really different. And so those are some things that you plan for and think about. So that's it. Please like this video. Please comment. Please, if you have questions or, what did I do or how did I start getting clients through my consulting work or even my coaching that I do. If you have questions about that. And please subscribe so that I can see you on the next video. So with that, take care. See you next time.